Make sure y'all hit that big red button that says subscribe, because if you want questions around your favorite NFL teams, maybe some of the biggest players, and you want them answered here by Chat Sports, well, then you need to subscribe and you need to join us live. We go live every single Wednesday and Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. NFL Daily coming at you here. Swamposaurus got the super chat. The Panthers owner Tepper says that he wants to win now, so do y'all think he pulls the trigger on Watson? As an NFL fan, I imagine that offense, Teddy, and 2 firsts.
If I'm Houston, it's got to be 3 firsts.
Yeah, I don't think Teddy and 2 firsts.
I don't care what play. What is Teddy really worth? And I'm not a Teddy hater. I thought he did some good things this year. But if a team is trading for Teddy Bridgewater straight up, what are you sending? A 4th?
I was going to say a 3rd.
$20 million per year? I mean, I like Teddy, but essentially you're saying trade 2 firsts and a 3rd or 4th. I think Houston can do better.
If Houston doesn't get 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson,
then you don't trade him.
Yep. That's what's coming in from Sam. What up, brother? Would the Dolphins have made the playoffs if they drafted Herbert over Tua? This is actually a really fun question. I am still going to say no, because I thought Ryan Fitzpatrick did a phenomenal job, and he was filling in for some of those games. Sure, Tua didn't play great.
Had a tough schedule.
But that schedule was tough. I mean, they still went 10-6. I mean, 10-6 in most years gets you in, especially if somebody would have told me 7 teams get into the playoffs and you go 10-6. I said you would have been a lock. But do I think they make it with Herbert? No. Do I think they regret not drafting Herbert, though? Yes.
And to be fair, and to be completely fair, when would a Herbert have taken over in Miami? We don't know. It probably wouldn't have been week 2. So the weapons weren't as good in Miami. So you just don't know. Sometimes it's just a perfect marriage. Him with the Chargers is a perfect fit. It just happened to work out really well for them.
This one's coming in from Arthur Moyle. Was Jamal Adams worth giving up 2 first-round picks? It's a great question. I'm going to say no. They didn't win a Super Bowl. You gave up 2 firsts. Jamal was one of the worst cover safeties. Sure, they used him more as a linebacker, and, the 9 sacks, that's an incredible stat for a safety. But when you give up 2 first-round picks, I think you're expecting more, and for them to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs, I'm going to say no.
The question you got to ask yourself is, any safety in the NFL, especially a safety who doesn't cover that well, worth 2 firsts? The answer is no. Yeah. I mean, they did not expect him to decline this much in coverage. Now, he's great at blitzing.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Great. He can guard tight ends somewhat and do those type of things, but just call him a linebacker then, because he ain't a safety. He cannot cover anybody. I'm with you. 1 first, absolutely. 2, I'm not so sure, because watching Seattle flame out, they might be a few pieces away from getting where they want to go.
So Harrison and I, we're both typing N for no, but y'all can let us know, because that's what Chat Sports is all about. Was Jamal Adams worth 2 first-round picks? Y for yes, or type N for no. Super chat coming in from Everett Thomas. What up, my man? I'm a Vikings fan, so what do you think of my comparison of Kyle Pitts to Irv Smith Jr.?
Kyle Pitts is a lot better.
Don't get mad at me. I don't like it very much. If you want a legit comparison, I've been making it on my Raiders show. He reminds me so much of Darren Waller, where it's like 6'6", 250 pounds, moves like a wide receiver.
He's what we thought.
That's your comparison.
He's what we wanted Evan Ingram to be, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he's going to be what we thought Evan Ingram could be, where if you ask him to block, you're not really utilizing him smart. But can he be an 1,100-yard guy as a big slot tight end? Absolutely. That guy is going to be an animal in the red zone. He's similar style-wise to Irv Smith, but he's way more talented. That's not even close. He's got more size as well. I love Kyle Pitts. He's going to go top 15.
This one's coming in from Sammy R04. Stafford to the Steelers. So the biggest issue with this is Pittsburgh, you got to remember, is Ben washed up? Yes. Should he probably retire? Probably. But he's owed $41 million. He's going to play another season.
Also, he's washed up, but is he like Breeze washed up, where it's like it's painful watching him play still? I don't think he's to that level.
I mean, dude, when you look at those last 6 games for Pittsburgh, they went 1-5, and it was
500 yards in a playoff game. I mean, I know a lot of it was
garbage time. I don't know. Like, for me, Big Ben is washed. I don't know if it's quite at the where Drew Brees is, but Stafford, to me, no, I don't see him
to
going
me, you
Steelers.
Can't get Stafford unless Big Ben is willing to walk away.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to.
He ain't walking away with $41 million on the table. But you did bring up Matthew Stafford, and when I hear a lot of quarterback trade rumors, 2 quarterbacks that always continue to pop up are Stafford and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes.
Out of the two guys right now, who do you think would be more likely to get dealt? Would it be the Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford, type MS? Or could it be the 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, type JG? Super chat coming in from Duane Jackson. Will Deshaun get traded before the draft or on draft night? What team do you think could present the best offer?
That's too wild of a trade to happen during the draft.
Yeah,
There's just way too much happening. If it happens, it'll happen before. Draft day trades are not this many moving parts. There is so much capital that's going to go into that trade if it happens. I think it'll happen fairly quickly, honestly, if it does happen. If it happens, it'll happen before the new league year even starts. It'll be verbally agreed to, and then on March whatever, it'll be official. So
in terms of which team has the best to offer, I'll say it's actually between the Dolphins and it's between the Jets. So the Jets have the number 2 overall pick.
Yeah.
Sure, maybe, I guess, Jacksonville, but they're not going to trade within the division. So you give up the number 2 pick, probably 2 other first-round picks, or for Miami, I mean, they got 4 picks in the top 50, 2 of which they actually got from Houston in that Laramie Tunsil trade, but I would say it's the Jets and the Dolphins, probably the 2 most intriguing teams. All right, this one's coming in from Nicholas Folk. Shouldn't you be kicking somewhere?
Yeah,
How do the
exactly.
Ravens address the offensive line and receivers in the draft and free agency? So basically, how can the Baltimore Ravens get better in free agency from receivers and the offensive line? I mean, the draft, obviously, you got Jamar Chase, you got Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith.
Maybe Waddle's in range. I
don't think those three players fall
Smith
to
and Chase is gone. I think of a guy like Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. He's a guy that might be there. I think if you could get Kyle Pitts, that would be awesome because big draft catch radius for Lamar, who can be erratic at times.
I mean, for receivers, Allen Robinson should be number 1 on your list because Allen Robinson can block.
Kenny Galladay.
Kenny Galladay's a great red zone option. 11 touchdowns last year. Chris Godwin's an intriguing, but you got to be able to find a true number 1 receiver who can complement with a guy with Hollywood Brown. I would say for Baltimore, look more towards the receivers in free agency, and then O-line. Maybe look at some of the other offensive tackles and some guards who could potentially fall, but you also got to figure out, what's going on with
Are you still sold on Lamar?
Jackson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's still, top 6 quarterback?
Yeah. I'm still in on him, but there's chatter on maybe he's not the guy. I'm not one of those guys, but that is being floated out there.
Let's go to Patel Tang. Will the Broncos re-sign Shelby Harris? It's an intriguing question, and if you are a Broncos fan, Patel, go subscribe to our Broncos channel, chatsports.com/Broncos TV. The thing with Shelby Harris is this. He's coming off, I could actually make an argument that he had a better year than a guy like Leonard Williams, maybe even had a better year than Dalvin Tomlinson. I mean, he is probably one of the more underrated defensive tackles, but when I go back and I look at my rankings of the top 3 DTs entering free agency, it's these 3 guys right here. It's Leonard Williams, Dalvin Tomlinson, Shelby Harris. Out of these 3 names, who do you think is the best free agent DT? I'm still going to say Leonard Williams.
He's younger. I like Williams a lot. I would probably go there.
But if you're a team that's in win now mode and looking for most bang for your buck, I might actually make the argument to Shelby Harris.
Are the Broncos there? That's the question.
I don't think so.
Would you want to go for a younger guy? I think that's what I would do. They have a lot of decisions. What do they do at quarterback? What do they do with Von Miller?
Big one.
Do they re-sign a guy like Phillip Lindsay? So they got to decide where they want their money to go. Obviously, the safety as well. He's blanking my name.
Justin Simmons.
What do they do with him? So they got to make some decisions here. Let us know who the best free agent DT is, but Broncos are going to be a fascinating team to watch this offseason.
Now, if y'all love the NFL, please subscribe to Chat Sports for free videos literally every single day. We drop a new video basically every 3 hours on our YouTube channel. We go live multiple times every week. When there's breaking news, whether it's NFL, NBA, or just about anything, we break it down for you. But the thing that I love most about Chat Sports, we are interactive. There's no other YouTube channels that get everybody involved like the way we do. Like I see My Opinion, John Lou, Seahawks fan, MXLO. We appreciate y'all watching. Go tell your friends to subscribe. The more subs we get here, the more videos.
How many YouTube channels are live for an NFL-only show, and then James Harden gets traded in the middle of it and breaks live to the James Harden trade? That's what we did for you guys. Subscribe to the channel. We're covering all the big stories in the NFL and in the NBA and some other sports as well.
All right, let's go to Blackpantherdd. Did I get that right? Do you think that the Cowboys should draft Andre Cisco, safety from Syracuse, in the 3rd round to pair up with Donovan Wilson?
I know he's a name Tom's talked about on the Cowboys Report, youtube.com/CowboysTV.
He forces a lot of turnovers. The only issue, and I'm just going to say it, he plays at a school like Syracuse, and their quarterback play that they go up against is not all the best. I think he is a high upside prospect, but I also can see him busting as well. Cisco to me, though, he is a top 5 safety. I could see him going in.
I'm biased.
I
think Trayvon Merrick's the best safety in this draft. Won the Jim Thorpe Award out of TCU, my alma mater.
I don't know if he would have won it if Holland would have opted out. He's the safety from Oregon. He had 9 interceptions the first 2 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Those are my top 2.
Those are 2 good players. Cisco's in the mix, Ardarius Washington. There's a lot of good, top 75 prospects that are safeties, but are any of them first round?
Yeah.
That's the question. I'll be curious to see how that plays out during this draft process over the next couple of weeks and months.
So if we missed your questions, I know we get a lot that are always come in. You can always hit me up on Instagram. I'm at MitchellRenz365. If you want to talk Bears, you want to talk Chiefs, you want to talk draft, whatever, Harrison, his DMs are open as well on Twitter. Hit him up at HGrahamNFL, but we know that y'all are always watching, and obviously we can't get to every single one of your questions. So seriously, hit us up, IG, Twitter, we'll answer your stuff. Super chat coming in, another one from Everett Thomas. Appreciate you, dude. What upcoming rookie will make the biggest impact in year 1? I mean, I don't want to say Trevor Lawrence.
It's got to be Lawrence.
But it's got to be Trevor Lawrence.
If you take quarterbacks out of it, I think Penei Sewell is a 12-year left tackle. So whoever gets him, I think, is upgrading in a major way at tackle. I'm trying to think of some dark horse guys. I think there's a lot of receivers in this class. I think there's 5 to 10 receivers that can be legitimate starters from day one. Obviously, the Smiths of the world, the Waddles, the Jamar Chases.
I love Zaven Collins of Tulsa, the defensive player of the year. I mean,
he's a fun player.
Anytime you win defensive player of the year, that's fun to look at. But when you're a guy from Tulsa that wins defensive player, that's just
they had a lot of good players on that defense randomly. They have a couple of corners who are good as well. So those are some names. Hey, we're going to cover it all. We'll cover all of draft coverage over the next few months, and stay tuned and subscribe.
What a name, Buttered Toast. What's the Saints' next quarterback option with Jameis on the roster? It's not Taysom Hill.
Well, he's a free agent, by the way, right? Jameis?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, or Jameis is going to be a free agent, correct. But Taysom Hill, he's not the future. If you're New Orleans, obviously you don't have a lot of money. They're going to be minus $76 million in terms of cap
I would just
space.
Start Taysom Hill next year, see what happens, and just not spend any money this offseason. Just, hey, if we're randomly good, sweet. If not, we can kind of clear salary cap for 2022, and then we can reassess. I mean, what are they really going to – who can they go get?
Yeah, there's not a lot of
what are you going to do?
Ryan Fitzpatrick, bring him in, baby.
I think you roll with
I think they're going to end up rolling with Taysom
see what
Hill,
happens.
But he's not your long-term solution.
He's already 31 years old.